Hey guys, welcome to my channel. In this video, we will be going over the things you need to know about taking on the healer role in Tower Fantasy. Take note that this guide will be focused on PvE because that's the aspect of the game I'm most experienced with. And as always, if you find this useful, don't forget to leave a like and let's jump right in. First and foremost, you will need to have 2 healing weapons equipped. This will give you the Benediction effect, which will increase your healing by 100% and will be further increased by 100% in team play. As a healer, you are the backbone of your team. Tanks cannot survive if you don't get their HP back, and there's no use in having a DPS if they keep getting downed. So your objective is to be aware of your allies' HP and choose the right time to cast your heal. Most healing weapons have extremely long cooldowns on their abilities, so getting familiar with the cooldowns and rotations is crucial. And speaking of roles, don't forget to set your role accordingly under the match settings. I see a lot of people forgetting to change this, and it can be detrimental, especially in higher difficulty events. Now I will be going over the healing weapons and or characters. I will also be giving my thoughts on each one, so let's get started. Starting off with Pepper. Pepper is the only SR healing character in the game. She is a solid unit for just being an SR, able to give damage reduction for the team and removing all the debuffs from yourself and your teammates after using a discharge skill. Although you need higher advancements to get her other benefits, it's not an issue getting her maxed out considering how generous the game is. Pepper is a great starter healing weapon, but as great as she is, the SSR units are just a step above her. Which leads me to Zero, who I'll consider to be the more defensive type of healer. He is able to create a shield for himself and nearby allies with his basic skill. He can also cleanse debuffs but only for himself using his discharge skill, which also does a decent amount of crowd control. Zero has the highest charge rating in the game at a solid 13 points, making him a great use for a battery. His healing capabilities don't kick in until you get his first advancement. He gains a fair amount of healing with just a 2-second cooldown, making him a great choice as a secondary healer. And next we have the limited time character Nemesis. Nemesis is the offense-oriented healer. Her skills are focused on damage and debuffs, and her healing comes from her dodges, which are further enhanced when you get her first advancement. She is actually the only healer that has a special resonance that increases volt attacks by 15% and increases volt resistance by 25%. And the last but certainly not the least, we have Coco Ritter. Coco is by far the best healing character in the game. Both her basic and discharge skills have excellent heals. She has great CC with her charge attack, which can also freeze enemies for 2 seconds. She can cleanse debuffs from you and your enemies, similar to the other Simulacra. And her healing is further aided by the first advancement, which lets her summon a bee that follows her around and heals her teammates. She is overall a strong supporting unit even with no advancements. Now we are going to talk about the team compositions. I highly recommend using only SSR units if you can, but you can still make Pepper work if she's your only option. Preferably, your setup should consist of 2 healing weapons and a shield breaker, with one exemption which I'll go over later in this video. So the options you have for your healers are Coco, Nemesis, and Zero. All of them are great in their own way, it just depends on what you value more and who you have available. For your third slot, I recommend going for a ranged character or someone who just needs to go in and out quickly to break shields. And my top 2 choices are Meryl and Shiro. Shiro can safely break shields from a distance, only having to get close to the enemy when she needs to use her discharge skill. Meryl is also great because her basic skill has long range and her discharge skill is a great shield breaker. And now for the exception I mentioned earlier. You can use Samir if you are running Nemesis because Nemesis has the Volt Resonance, which increases the Volt damage and Volt resistance. Samir also has a good charge rating, so you can use her as a battery. If you don't have any of these available for your third slot, you can use anyone as long as they're using ranged weapons because you don't want to be at risk of getting downed first by getting near the enemy. I only have 2 recommended Matrix sets. It's the Pepper 3-piece set and the Coco Ritter 2-piece and 4-piece set. You can use these matrices on any healing weapon and it will work perfectly. But I will also give you some niche picks for certain situations. You can go for a 2-piece Meryl set, which will give you a safety net when your HP goes below 30%, so you don't die immediately. You can also use Zero's Matrix set on himself to give your teammates more damage. And you can use the Nemesis Matrix set on herself if you are a big spender, and it will work perfectly. I think the Matrix bonuses are pretty straightforward, so I don't feel the need to explain it to the 5-head Giga Chad who's watching. If you really want to be a dedicated healer, you can start increasing your points for Coco Ritter, because she has the most valuable passive traits for healing. The first effect you get at 1200 points will give you an increase in healing effects by 20%. And the second trait you get at 4000 points will increase your healing by another 20%, and at the same time, you will grant your allies a 15% attack bonus for 5 seconds every time you use a discharge or basic skill from a support weapon. This is huge for improving your heals, and you are basically getting this for free just by getting the toys from the Crane game and the toys from the NPC near the Black Market Space Rift every day. Aside from that, healing is pretty simple in Tower Fantasy. It's a lot easier, and I'd say it's more laid back. I was actually planning on maining the tank role, but ever since I got Nemesis, I started using her and I started loving this playstyle even more. So I hope you guys found this useful, and if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to leave it down below. And if you think I missed anything, also leave it in the comments below so everyone who watches this video can see it. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching until the end, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.